It's two dudes with attitudes, a wrestling podcast with Brian Enjoys Wrestling and MWO. And it is our WWE edition where we are going to talk all things of a crazy SmackDown, Monday Night Raw, and NXT. We're getting ready for that WrestleMania season, and we found out that John Cena is a human being. So before we break all that down, I just want to say, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and Ryan, you just came to California. Maybe we'll talk about that too. Maybe we'll save it for the AEW edition. But either way, Ryan, I'm excited. Let's talk this stuff. Let's go.
We're back, baby.
Two dudes with attitudes. Let's go. It's the two dudes and the attitudes. Ruthless, aggressively speaking. So let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton. They here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast shit. Start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E. The two dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
So if you're wondering why we took a week hiatus, you're going to have to, I think let's save it because it was an AEW thing. You came to Cali. Yeah. So if you want to know about our awesome dudes weekend, because it was filled with a lot of alcohol, you were going to have to tune in to our AEW edition. Oh, me too, bro. So you'll have to tune into that, and then we'll talk about it and let you guys know how the two dudes did in the land of Hollywood. Because this episode's a little too jam-packed. I feel like we got to get into it. We got a lot of things to talk about with this. So let's get into some SmackDown, because SmackDown, I actually really enjoyed this episode. And I think we should start at the beginning. So LA Knight came out to cut his promo, as the, U.S. champion. And he had some people that want to challenge him. And Jimmy Uso was one of them. And I want you to start off with this because I know that you had brought this up quite a while ago. But Jimmy Uso came out, Solo came out. We had a 6-man tag. And now we kind of do have Solo was leading the way with Tonga and Fatu. But then later on, Fatu cut the promo and Solo was kind of hyping him up. Interesting stuff. It looks like they're sticking together. But all of that, what'd you think, Ryan? Let's hear it. Because I know you made a prediction. And it seems like I even gave you a shout out on the prediction on TikTok too. About what you thought about the double WrestleMania. So let's hear it.
Yeah, I honestly think it should be Jimmy. I wanted it to be Jimmy Uso and Shinsuke Nakamura for the U.S. title at WrestleMania, but I really hope now it's Jimmy Uso versus LA Knight for the U.S. title. Let them open WrestleMania night one, and then close night one with Jey Uso and Gunther, with Jey Uso beating Gunther. So now you have a new U.S. champion in Jimmy Uso, new World Heavyweight champion in Jey Uso, and let the show end with Jimmy and Jey in the middle of the ring, yeeting, sending the crowd home happy. Similar to, not to bring up a sour subject, but the Chris Benoit WrestleMania 20 ending with, bringing his family into the ring. Eddie Guerrero came out there. I mean, it was that at the time, that was an incredible moment. Now I can't watch that moment because he's a piece of shit and, he doesn't deserve my attention. But that was, at the time, that was a really cool moment, bringing the family into the ring. Bring the family into the ring. Bring Roman out there. Bring Naomi out there if you want. Bring Rikishi out there and let them all celebrate and yeet together while they celebrate their new titles. So I think that's what they should do. I don't know if that's the direction that they're going with Fatu and Solo. Like, who knows how they get involved, but I do think we open night one with Jimmy winning the U.S. title and close night one with Jey Uso winning the World Heavyweight title.
And it might happen. I mean,
it could. Yeah.
Yeet. Skirt. But yeah, I think Jimmy and LA Knight make more sense. There wasn't really anyone else that came out, and I feel like you could do Jimmy, Solo, and LA Knight possibly. It feels like this might be triple threat WrestleMania. But Solo, Tonga, and Fatu. It looks like Fatu's still with Braun Strowman. I mean, are we still doing this?
Yeah, what are we doing there?
For the rest of our lives. But I did like it. I like that Jimmy came out. Although Jimmy did say he was going for those United States tag team titles, for man's
which was
tag team,
which was edited. I don't know if you saw that, but it was edited on I broadcast, or SmackDown was pre-recorded in Spain, I think, and so
yeah.
So then by the time it aired on the East Coast at 8 p.m. Eastern time, they edited it out to have him say, you could tell they edited it because it says, "I'm going to go for that United States Championship." You know, it was like because he clearly said tag team.
It's
So
somebody else. It's Triple H.
Yeah, they edited out the tag team part, and they edited out the part where Solo flubbed his words too, where he almost dropped an F-bomb.
Yeah, what was going on? They were like
Yeah.
all over the. It's because
I think the crowd. Yeah, the crowd,
man.
The crowd distracts them. They try to hijack the show, and we can rant about that.
We'll talk about that on Raw. Yeah, but I do like that Solo, Tonga, and Fatu are still all together. I do still feel like we're getting Solo and Fatu. I know they're kind of. I don't know, Triple H loves to do that with factions, right? Like the Judgment Day. Like 1 second they're bickering, the next second they're best friends again. Then all of a sudden he's like, let's have them bickering. All right, now they're bickering again. Like have factions together or break up. We got to stop with this whole like thing. But I mean,
Fraxium
Solo, dude, and now they're like done with that. Well, no, they still kind of bicker here and there. But Solo led the way when he almost dropped the F-bomb. And then backstage, Fatu cut a huge promo about how he was going to work Braun Strowman or whatever. And Solo was like his hype man. Solo even did like his line and like was pumping him up from behind. So it looks like, that they're kind of doing what everyone does, right? Like we don't need a leader anymore. We're just all equals. But either way, I think it's good because I don't think Solo's ready to go by himself yet. I think Fatu is. And since Solo's no longer, the tribal chief, what else is going to do? So I do kind of like that faction that they're doing. So I'm looking forward to it, even though I think they will break up by Mania. I'm assuming. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know anymore.
I don't know what they're. I mean, I like it. I just wish that they had a name because right now it's just Solo, Jacob, and Tamatonga. And are they the bloodline? Are they not the bloodline? Are they what are they? Who are they? And what are they here for? And why are they still together? I wish they would kind of clarify that, and especially as we get closer to WrestleMania.
They need to have the same name as the dudes from The Hangover. What did they call him? The Wolfpack, right? Is that what they called them?
Yeah. The three-man Wolfpack.
They're all, because he's all about the wolf, right? That's you're the three best friends that anyone can have.
Fun fact, Zach Galifianakis is from North Carolina, and he went to North Carolina State University, and their North Carolina State's nickname, their mascot, is the Wolfpack. So that line in that movie that's why he dropped it in particular. He was like, it was like an ode to NC State University. So,
that's funny. Fact. Good stuff. Yeah. I like that fact. Cody Rhodes, he's on MizTV. I almost predicted this. I predicted a lot of things on SmackDown right before it happened almost perfectly. It's like I was there. But Cody Rhodes doesn't talk on MizTV. Says he only wants to talk to John and basically destroys MizTV with his finisher. What'd you think? Quick and easy. Do you like the vicious Cody? Do you think we need the vicious Cody? Because when we talk about on Raw too, he was still being very non-baby face-ish. You know what I mean? He's very heel tendencies. What did you think?
Yeah, I was more confused about what the Miz was doing more so than Cody Rhodes, because the Miz came out and was like, he was talking in Spanish, getting the crowd behind him, and then talking about how, it's a great time to be here. I'm so happy to, and then he like interrupted Cody Rhodes' theme and was like, no, we're not going to have sing along with Cody Rhodes. Or, I'm going to ask the hard hitting question. And I was like, wait, were you supposed to be like a baby face? Are you supposed to be a heel? So I was more confused about him than anything. But I liked this vicious side of Cody. And when we get into Raw, I'll tell you why I didn't like what Cody did on Raw, because I feel like that kind of took away from it. Because Cody came out and just said, I only want to talk to John Cena, and that's it. So the time for talk is over, and then he beat up the Miz, which good for him. That's what we needed to do. We didn't need to hear another Cody Rhodes promo tearing down John Cena. We've seen that on the last 2 episodes of Raw and SmackDown. It was just getting redundant. So I'm glad they changed it up a little bit.
I agree. I fully agree, and he needs an edge, right? He doesn't need to be a heel. He doesn't need to pretend to be a bad guy, but he needs an edge. I think we're all tired of Uber John Cena, babyface Cody Rhodes. And I really thought we were going to get that since he was going against John Cena, that it was going to be like new John Cena, which John Cena even talked about in his promo. But it's not happening. It looks like we're getting an edgier Cody, and I'm all for it. So something else I was for was Tiffany Stratton and one Charlotte Flair. For whatever reason, she decided to wrestle BFAB. Okay, whatever. And then Tiffany Stratton comes in. They fight everywhere. Then right before MizTV with Cody Rhodes, Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair are still fighting, which I've already said numerous times that I appreciate and love, that they don't just like go backstage and then forget their, animosity. They kept going. But Tiffany jumped off the Titantron. I know it's not called the Titantron anymore, but she jumped off it, did her little flippity doodah, hit everybody but Charlotte Flair. But nonetheless, it was still fun to see, and all those 8 referees caught her and our security guards. Cool moment. What'd you think? I feel like a lot of people are thinking the 2 Royal Rumble winners are getting forgotten. They're playing second fiddle to everybody else, meaning Charlotte Flair and Jey Uso, that their feuds aren't really spicing up things and don't look like either of them are going to main event either night. But what do you think about this? I thought Tiffany and Charlotte is heating up pretty nicely. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was a little concerned about the build for this going into it, but this got me more excited about it than ever before. So it's just amazing because what a little pull apart brawl can do, and especially when they're fighting, and it makes it so much more serious and makes it so much more entertaining as opposed to just cutting promos and one person attacking the other one and all that. So this was a good way to get me excited about a match that I really wasn't excited about coming into it. So they did their thing, and shout out to Tiffany Stratton, man. That was a hell of a bump off that Titantron.
Yeah.
So good for them. And like you said, I like that they still kept fighting backstage too. They don't just stop after the segment's over, we're not going to fight anymore. Like I love that that WWE has added that little intricacy.
Me too. I do like it. And I like that Triple H, which we'll talk about later on too, with Priest and Drew McIntyre, is that things that I don't care about for WrestleMania, Triple H is getting me excited for, or the team of creative. They're getting me into matches that I didn't really care to see. The one thing is, though, don't dress them up alike ever again. You can't have 2 blonde girls, same height, same build, literally wearing the same exact outfit. They were like in the same outfit.
I know. I thought they were attacking.
They were going. Yeah, I was like, "What the hell is like? Come on, y'all! Like, let's match that up a little. They can't be both wearing pink at WrestleMania. We gotta do better, Triple H." And speaking of do better, Triple H continued his streak with Shawn Michaels of having a title change every second he can. The Street Profits beat DIY. They got no ceremony. Your favorite thing, right? You love when new champions happen and they just cut away instantly. But nonetheless, yeah, phenomenal match. Heel Street Profits are in. They finally have the tag team titles again. I don't know how many years it's been. What'd you think? Did you like it? You for it?
I am. I am for it. I'm for it, but I also had a problem with it. And I'm for it because it's long overdue for the Street Profits, and it needed to happen. And I'm happy to see this new, edgier Street Profits, this heel group, and see what they do going forward now that they have the titles. My problem with it is, didn't Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa turn heel? And they turned heel on Motor City Machine Guns to win the tag team titles. And now that they lost the titles, 2 months later after they did that. And so that just kind of feels all for naught now. So it feels like if you want to win the tag team titles, just turn heel and attack the team that has the belt, and then you win the belt. So, but it just kind of felt like their heel turn was a little useless, I guess. But they also teased more dissension. Speaking of factions and tag teams always constantly bickering, they teased more dissension between Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. So maybe we get that match at WrestleMania finally. So maybe there was a reason behind it, but it just felt like they just turned to win the belts, and now they turn around and lose the belts to a team that just turned. So yeah,
I agree. And but I did like it, and I like the Street Profits as heels.
Oh, me too.
I was really hoping that's the route we were going to go with Bianca, which we still might, and we'll talk about in a little bit. But I was really for it. I called it. I knew it was going to happen. You can tell that we were going to have another title change. DIY breaking up is good. Tommaso Ciampa is a phenomenal.
It needs to.
I'm not taking away from Gargano, but Ciampa's him as a heel. Like, he can do it, and he can do it on SmackDown or Raw. But the Street Profits, props to them, and I think this helps that tag team division a little bit more. They needed some fresh blood. I know DIY just won it, but Street Profits, I think, can really, really elevate being those heels and having everybody else chase them. And I'm hoping that it'll get this tag team division fired back up, and we don't have a WrestleMania 4-way 8-man tag for the tag team titles, and we can get a challenger, even if it's, Motor City Machine Guns, or even if it's just, I don't know, whoever. I'm excited for it. And they look good winning. They felt good. They look good. all for it. I'm excited to see what they do, and they've been good on promos too. They had a couple good backstage ones recently. It's been good stuff from them. Yeah,
I'm excited to see what they do now that Lashley's out of the picture now, and they're not in the Pride anymore. Like now they can be on their own and be true heels. I'm curious to see how they do as champs.
Yeah. All right. Monday Night Raw time. Let's go, and let's just get the elephant in the room out of the way. John Cena's promo. I'll let you go first. Let's hear it.
Oh man, we finally heard from the heel the human being John Cena, because he made sure to tell us that he is not a babyface, he is not a heel, he is a human being. And so when I first watched this promo, and I made a video immediately after I watched it on TikTok, and I said I didn't like it at all, and I've watched it a couple of times and I like it more and more each time I watch it, but I stand by what I said in the video, was that I still don't really care for it. And so and the reason why is because John Cena came out more stoic than ever. He didn't do his running to the ramp. He came out to the same theme music, to the same type of entrance, same gear, same everything. Did the towel thing and just walked into the ring and let the crowd just, he got that instant heel heat from the crowd, and then he just laid into him for 20 minutes, and it was great. Don't get me wrong, it was very well done, and it was delivered well, and the crowd was giving him the heat, which I didn't expect the crowd to do that with John Cena. But the promo, in my opinion, just felt a little generic. It was your typical heel promo. The only thing different about it, and the only reason why I think people liked it so much, is because it was John Cena cutting it. Because it's bizarre to have John Cena cutting a heel promo in the year 2025 for the first time in a long time. But the thing I didn't like was he made no mention of WrestleMania of 41. He made no mention of the WWE Championship in number 17. He made no mention of his partnership with The Rock. He made no mention of this little faction with him and Travis Scott and The Rock. He barely mentioned Cody Rhodes, other than when the fans were chanting, "We want Cody," and he called him their shiny new toy, while your current one is being laid out to pasture. So I feel like maybe if this promo was next week on Raw or this week on SmackDown or something, I would have liked it a lot better. But for you got to set the stage, you got to set the table, and I feel like they didn't really do that. It was just him dogging on the fans the entire time and breaking up with the people and being in a toxic relationship for the last 25 years, which also is not technically true, because John Cena hasn't really been booed since 2019, 2018, when he was a full-time performer. Every time he comes back full-time or part-time, he gets cheered out the building. So the "Let's Go Cena sucks" thing hasn't really happened in a long time. Even when he was retiring and he was fighting the Bloodline and he was going after Solo, he was getting all the heel props or the babyface reactions. So, but yeah, I think if they had done they had 2 weeks. That's my other issue. They had 2 weeks of, anticipating John Cena's return. And that's what they came up with was, hey, why don't you go out there and just rag on the fans for 20 minutes instead of giving us a reason, giving us a purpose, giving us, what's your deal with The Rock? Why did you sell your soul? That was the story going into Elimination Chamber. That was the story coming out of Elimination Chamber. And they had 2 weeks, and that's what they came up with. And maybe if they had done some sort of vignette on Raw or SmackDown building up to this, and then they did this, I would have liked it a little bit more. But for this being his first promo, it just didn't land for me.
All right. Respect. You're allowed to. Just like when he turned heel, it didn't land for me, and I was the only one who was anti the heel turn. I just thought it was uneventful. So I watched it the first time, and I was like, okay, that was good. He had good stuff. I liked his fire. He didn't go full heel, which is fine because maybe he doesn't want to. And it made me think more and more that Cody Rhodes is going to get the victory from John Cena because it doesn't look like he's fully invested in it. But then I watched it again. Then I watched it a third time. And then I just watched it a fourth before we started this podcast. And every single time I watched it, I loved it more and more and more. And I'm not going to say it was perfect. No way, shape, or form. But just the way he was delivering and saying things. There's nothing people hate more than a narcissist. And I know that firsthand. And narcissists only care about themselves, right? They do no wrong, everybody else does wrong. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're a babyface who's getting cheered all the time and the fans are forcing you, it's okay. But if it's me who's having it done, then it's not okay. And that's basically what John Cena did. He claimed that he was in a toxic relationship with the fans. And not just the fans who cheered him, the fans that booed him, all of them. And that when he came out, he was getting booed out of the building. So what did he do? He wanted to be loved and appreciated. So he basically became PG era John Cena for us because we forced him to smile. We forced him to do things he didn't want to do, and he did it for us. And we never truly appreciated him because we were just like, dance, puppet, dance. And the thing was, too, is that he even brought up, I announced my retirement tour. And what was it? Where's Cena? Where's Cena? What are you going to do, Cena? Oh, you're in my town. What are you going to bring? What are you going to do? Blah, blah, blah. And it was just like everything he was talking about was real narcissism. Like it's all about like, why can you not, even though the fans are paying for him, keeping him a paycheck, getting him shows like Peacemaker, he doesn't care. He doesn't care, right? Because in his mind, he's thinking you guys are just straight manipulating me. And the way he delivered it was so well done. Like the way he made you kind of think like, well, shit, maybe it is me, because he was mind effing you. And that's what narcissists do. They play with your head to make you think you are the bad one, when even though you are not. Like, you know, the clothes. I'm not going to change my clothes. I'm going to keep my clothes. You guys dress like me. I don't dress like you. This is how I dress. I'm going to wear what I want. I'm going to play. That's my theme music. I wrote that shit. I sing it. I'm not changing it. You guys can go F yourselves. Either like it or you don't. You know what I mean? And it was just so well done. And even though I hated the fans, and there's fans out there who listen to our podcast. And if you're one of these people, I'm sorry, but stop being it. The show's not about you. You boo, you cheer, you say the things you want. But he was like getting into deeps and promos, and they were just like chanting stupid shit for no reason, like just to say bad words on TV. And that I hate trying to hijack it. The show's not about you. And I know people are like, yes, it is. It's about, oh, no, it's not. You got to let the performers perform. But John Cena, and this is where I really have been diving into it the few times I watched it, was that he was stopping what he was having in his head and was reacting. He was feeding.
That was good. I'll give him that.
And he was going at him like, this is what, oh, real classy. You guys are just making my point. That's what I'm saying. He was like going in and continuing it with his promo. And it was just so like, the fact that he pointed at that little kid who was crying and called him out. Okay, I wanted the Make-A-Wish thing, right? But him doing that was just as good. He like found that kid at some point while he was cutting that promo and then called him out. And just the fact that he's like, dude, this is not about me. You guys are ruining it. You're ruining it now. You're ruining this. You guys deserve nothing. Nothing I do. And absolutely, I'm going to come out, do whatever I want. It was just very, very masterful. And the fans were still like being stupid at the fact they were doing like the let's go Cena sucks. But even when they chanted Cody, he was like, oh yeah, now you all want Cody. And like you said, the shiny new toy. Put me in the shed, right? Put me on the back and old yeller me, and let's bring in new John Cena, right? It was awesome. And even though I didn't get it because he did the whole like, you know, the you can't see me joke has been like played out for 15 years and it's stupid and you guys are making me like have to die. His hat said you can't see me. And I get that's not the same thing, but it is. You can't have all you can't see me merch on and then say, I don't like that gimmick. But once again, it was really, really nice. And I even like the things about him, like, you know, what would he say? I'm breaking up with you. I'm done. I'm breaking up with every single person. You're dumped. I don't care about you and you don't matter to me. It's just the way that he like said it. And the way that he said, like, you guys say never give up. You guys, all you guys do is sit on your couch. That's all you guys do. You guys don't live hustle, loyalty, and respect. I do. You don't. It was just really like narcissistic, masterful. And I do kind of think maybe he did go really heel because like I said, who do people hate more than anybody? It's a narcissist, someone who's trying to manipulate you and play with your mind. I really, really just gave it more and more props and realized that there's like levels to this game. I've been watching this like clips, not fully, this LFG show or whatever. And there's that stupid guy with BJ, whatever. Everybody hates him, but all in the comments are like, this guy is genius. So I went and watched it. And I watched that stupid promo he cut in front of CM Punk. It was so bad. I get that you're like making fun of people, but it was bad. He didn't deliver it like a promo. Right, he was just talking low. It was like really effing bad. And then you go and I know he's not John Cena, right? He's been doing it forever, but I'm just saying there's levels to promos. And the fact that John Cena, if you just go back and watch it, it just shows masterfulness of what he was doing and how he was playing with our heads. And even Cody Rhodes coming out and just basically saying, like, I want the real John Cena. I don't want a little whiny bitch, and dropped the mic and left, no music. It was all just, I really, really did enjoy it. So, you know, and I get it too. I think even as a person who didn't like it, go back and listen to it and see if you enjoy it. And as a person who did love it, go back and listen to it, because I think you'll love it even more. You know, what better way to become a heel than to blame other people? It's just really, 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 really good stuff. I really do. And I think Cody Rhodes, like I said, not investing into the John Cena thing and basically having that edge to him and whatever else you want, being that American Nightmare is going to work as well, because I don't think Cena turning and then Cody being Cena would have worked out as well. I think Cody needs to be himself, with John Cena being the new heel persona that he is. But yeah, and I think like you said too about John Cena, like, oh, it's just because it was John Cena. You're right. It was just because it was John Cena cutting the promo. And I think that's what we wanted, because John Cena for the last 20 years has cut the same damn promo every single time. You know what I mean? Same electric. And I like that they didn't have him and Cody go at each other yet, because I do think John Cena is going to destroy him. And I think that's why they're like, all right, let's just have Cody. I think we're going to get there, but he's going to destroy him. So we'll see, because
he will.
Yeah. But that's what I got to say.
My thing with the Cody thing, I really want to like Cody Rhodes. I really want to support Cody Rhodes. But when he cuts that promo on SmackDown and says, I only want to talk to John Cena. And then John Cena cuts his promo and Cody Rhodes comes out. He does his thing for 20 minutes. He does his little entrance and he's all happy-go-lucky. And then he barely says anything. I'm like, I thought you said you wanted to talk to him, dude. Like, this was your chance. And then you left without any sort of physical contact, without attacking him. You just walked out. And not only that, but Cody Rhodes should have fought John Cena. Like, they should have gotten physical immediately because of what John Cena did at Elimination Chamber. What happened at Elimination Chamber was John Cena turned heel, beat up Cody Rhodes. And the whole time, Cody Rhodes has been like, I'm going to get you, John. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. You know, and then he comes out and he cuts the promo. And in his promo, he says, you know, John, even after what you did, I was still looking forward to sparring with you week in and week out. I'm like, why? Why are you looking forward? Like, no, I get that you want that John Cena on his shirt, but you're not getting that John Cena. You have a different John Cena. You need to be attacking him. So it was just, I wanted more from Cody Rhodes too, because we've had that edgier Cody, and then, you know, he cut him off. Yeah, he was like, enough. I'm not kid. I'm WWE champion, and you'll respect me, and I want that John Cena back at WrestleMania. And then that was it. Then he walks away, and then John Cena walks out, and it was just kind of a lackluster ending to what could have been a really great promo, in my opinion. Especially because he attacked the Miz and had that viciousness 3 days before or 2 days before. Like, yeah, you would think like, hey, I want to put my hands on you, but he didn't. Yeah, but they're back at it again on Monday, right? Aren't they already? Again? So I mean, like I said, I think this is a build up, and we'll find out why he did it for The Rock. I still think they should have done something beforehand. I think I would have liked it better if they had filmed something after Elimination Chamber, like a backstage interview, a vignette, some sort of sit down interview while he's filming his movie about why he did what he did, or, you know, hey, Cody Rhodes, I'm coming for you, or, you know, him and The Rock doing something together, similar to what they did with the WrestleMania press event with Roman and Rock walking out together. You know, it was like, oh, okay, this gives me a reason to tune in. And then that promo, I think, would have been a lot better, because then we would have had the MO of this group. We would have had that mission statement from this faction, but we didn't really get it. You want John Cena and Cody Rhodes in the middle of a football stadium staring at each other and talking with not that one. And, not that one. The other one, the one where The Rock was doing the family tree and that was good. That thing where he slapped him in the face. Well, that's right. Well, let's go right into promos, because I think we've talked to John Cena one. Seth Rollins came out and cut a promo. Let's talk about it. That's it. I mean, you talk like in the corporate world, we always have these meetings where it's like, what was the point of that? And this whole thing you could have just sent this in an email. And that's what that promo was. They could have announced that in a press release that Seth Rollins is going to be on SmackDown. And that was the gist of the promo. 20 minutes of the crowd singing his song, and then letting the crowd sing his song, and then cutting a promo. And he opens the promo by saying, you know, guys, I came in here really mad, really angry, really upset. And then hearing you guys sing that song, I'm no longer mad. It just makes me feel good, or whatever. It was something along those lines.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes later, he's talking about, was I mad that Roman Reigns pulled me out of that cage? Not at all. I was like, wait, you just said you were mad. Now you're not mad? Because I would have done the same damn thing. And I was like, wait, what? And then, why should they have all the fun? So Punk is going to be on SmackDown, and Roman's going to be on SmackDown. So I guess I'll go join them. LOL. Bye, guys. And I was like, that's it? That's all you had to say? Like, that was a waste of a segment. That felt like they threw that together at the last minute just to get Seth Rollins on the show.
Well, and to get them singing a song because they knew the crowd was hot. So they're like, these guys are going to sing a song. But I was so happy to be done with that Seth Rollins who comes out with the stupid music thing. And then he did it again. I was like, he even said, like, I'm going to be there on SmackDown. And, will you guys sing my song again? Whoa. And then he lleft. I was like,
that was it.
Are we like... You didn't even say why. Like I had to ask you. I'm like, so who's gonna be on SmackDown? I didn't even. Yeah. I'm like, I didn't even catch what he was talking about. Once again, you have Austin Theory lose in 30 seconds, but you have Seth Rollins come out for 10 minutes to cut the most pointless promo in the history of the world. Like, let's do better, WWE. And speaking of doing better, you loved another segment. So we had a female contract signing between one Io Sky and Bianca Belair. And what happens? They sign their contracts. Rhea Ripley comes out. They push Io again like she a little bitch or something. And then Rhea signs the contract, runs away with it. And I guess we're getting a triple threat. Was it ever really confirmed?
I don't know.
I didn't know if you could just sign your name on things. That's how it works. But
because then later on, Adam Pearce was like, "Give me back the contract," and she was like, "No, I'm not giving it back." And he was like, "Give it, Rhea." He like fathered her, Rhea Ripley. Give me the contract back right now. And it was like, no, Biff, you leave her alone. But he was, and then she was like, oh, then add me to the match. It's a legal document. And you know, I guess you can just add your name to stuff. I mean, WWE, it's happened before. Shawn Michaels did it a long time ago.
Yeah.
John Cena, our popular heel right now, he did it when probably the start of his heel turn when he screwed Finn Balor out of the title match. I think it was against Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns or something, but he did it most recently. So it has happened. I just hope that's not the avenue that we go to get this triple threat. I hope Adam Pearce nulls it and voids it, and Rhea Ripley has to like earn her way into the triple threat somehow, some way, or something. But because this just feels like it's a cool feud and it's a cool story, but it's also kind of all over the place at the same time.
It is, and I like how people were like, "Oh, why are we just adding in Rhea?" Whoop! I'm like, no, y'all. They added in Io. This hadn't Rhea was already like going to wrestle. This was a Io add-in, not a Rhea. But if it does happen, 3 baby faces, that can't happen. Who's turning heel? Bianca got booed. I don't think you can boo Rhea. Rhea is just too over. I don't think they're going to turn Io. So I think it's got to be Bianca. I think she still has something. I mean.
And
right?
They talked about Jade Cargill. They did an interview with Jade Cargill on SmackDown, and she said that, she blacked out, but the last thing she remembers is Naomi walking away. And she never said, I saw Naomi attack me. I never saw, what if Bianca, it's not out of the realm of possibility for her to throw on. I know that she was in the middle of a match when it happened, so there's probably something not to it, but what if Bianca had something to do with it? I still feel like she had something to do with that attack. Yeah, the mastermind behind it.
Well, and Jade said that, right? Yeah. Didn't Jade say something in the lines that she's not on the same page as both of them? And she didn't.
Well, she said that it was
Bianca.
She was like, and to see Bianca teaming with her, nothing happened, was really breaking, heartbreaking or something. Yeah, disheartening or something. So. Yeah, I could. Yeah. And then Liv Morgan showed up, which was fantastic. That was a cool way to do it. But
and what are we doing with that match? I mean, obviously Naomi's going to interfere, but still, oof. I mean, Jade Cargill and Liv Morgan, sign me up, bro.
Yeah, but long answer short, I think it's got to be Bianca that's turning heel in this feud.
Yeah, I think so. And with that said, there's more confusion. The Judgment Day. So I guess Penta won a match against Kaiser, and then announces he's going to go for the IC championship.
Well, he announced he's going for the Continental Championship.
Oh, yeah, the Continental. Well,
because he wants to go back to AEW.
Is that what it was? I thought his English is bad. It's so funny because one time I'm like, dude, his English is on point. And then he did that. And I was like, oh, maybe it's not so good. I don't know.
Well, I think he just got because he was talking about how we're live continentally or something. And I think that just got in his brain.
Just messed him up. Yeah.
And so, he was like, and so I'm going for the Continental Championship. And I was like, oh, okay.
Who's the Continental Champion right now?
It's Okada. So
is it still Okada? That's right. Takeshita lost to Kenny Omega. Yeah, Okada. Okada was like, wait, huh? All right, let's do it. But nonetheless, Penta, bitch. Bitch. That is a pretty good give. They could both use that. But so they go backstage, they talk in the clubhouse, and Dominic's all about bringing in a new member, and Finn's like, who are you going to bring in? And Liv and Raquel are right next to Dom, and they're like, don't do it, Dom. And Dom's like, it's a great idea. I go with Penta. And then Finn's like, you moron. He literally wants to go after my Intercontinental Championship. Blah, blah, blah. You're a snake. He even tweeted out he's a snake. And then he leaves or whatever. And then all of a sudden, Raquel and Liv Morgan have morphed into Carlito. And Carlito's like, do you even watch the show, man? It, a good line, but nonetheless, where the hell did Liv and Raquel go?
Yeah, it was one of those camera errors that you see in movies. It's like, oh, this person just completely disappeared from the shot, and then they pan away, and then that person's back. That's what that was. That was weird.
Nowhere to be seen in the shot beforehand. Then all of a sudden he was just like, hey, man. But nonetheless, Braun Breaker once again beats Finn Balor. Maybe Dom had a problem with it, but Dom held that IC title in his Eddie Guerrero shirt, in his Eddie Guerrero pose, looking at that championship. Penta came out and had a stare down with Braun Breaker. What say you with all this madness? What are we getting here?
Man, the madness is a perfect way to describe some of this build to WrestleMania. I mean, we're in the March Madness season, and it feels like we're getting all kinds of crazy shenanigans right now with triple threats galore, and still don't really have a direction for a lot of people. And this is one of them. I don't know what they're doing. I mean, man, I guess are we going to get a triple threat or a four-way now with Finn Balor, Dom, Penta, and Braun Breaker? Or is it going to be a one-on-one match? Is Finn Balor versus Dom happening at Mania? And, the new member of the Judgment Day helps him. I mean, there's so many different ways that this whole thing can go, and I'm really curious to see, because it does feel like it's unpredictable right now, which is in a good way is a good thing. You know, in a way it's a good thing, but it's also kind of like all over the place at the same time.
I think it's going Penta, Braun Breaker. I even predicted that a while back ago, but I think it is going to be them, and I think we are getting Finn and Dom. And my new theory now is that the new member helps Dom win at WrestleMania and beats Finn Balor. And I know that sucks because Finn, all he does is lose, but I think that'll be the end of his losing streaks. And after that, he'll become a babyface and bring back the demon and start winning. But I think Dom needs that moment at WrestleMania too, and I think the new member will help him do so. So that's where I'm going with now, but we'll see, because right now it's like roller coaster of love. You never know. They might not even break up. Who knows? But yeah.
They'll probably win the tag team titles or something.
Yeah, right. All right, NXT time. We got into NXT, and speaking of losing, what are we doing with Sol Ruca, man? And I know people are going to be like, oh, get over it, but this woman fought for the first ever North American Women's Championship match, was in the championship, lost. She then got a title shot for the Women's Championship, lost. Now we bring over Chelsea Green, which I knew Chelsea Green wasn't going to lose. She lost her chance at the U.S. Women's Championship match, lost. Why are we putting Sol Ruca in these? I think Sol Ruca is better than Stephanie Vaquero. I don't care what anybody says. I think she's minus, Roxanne. I think Sol Ruca is the woman in all of NXT. I think she's that talented. She's got the look, the move set. She creates new moves like every week. Her finisher is easily the best finisher in all of professional wrestling. She is just doing her damn thing, but we're just having her lose title match after I just don't feel like she has title aspirations anytime soon, and that bums me out, especially because of what we'll talk about soon with Stephanie Vaquero. It just seems like a really, I don't know what we're doing. Is it hurting her completely? I mean, kind of. She's now in a weird tag team group, but she's still she had the biggest sidekick there, and she couldn't even overcome the other people helping Chelsea Green cheat. It was just a really weird moment, but I just don't know if Sol Ruca losing all the time is a good thing for business and for her moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. I I don't understand what they're doing with Sol Ruca, and I agree that she does. She deserves better than this, and I think that she's definitely better than Jada Parker, and it looks like Jada Parker is in line for Stephanie Vaquer next with both titles on the line or one title on. I don't really know
Just
what direction.
one, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I think she's certainly better than her. And to me, this is the problem of having two belts on one person, because now, you know, other people are going to be lost in the shuffle, and Sol Ruca's unfortunately the victim of that. And I think she should have been the first ever North American champion. She should be the current North American champion for NXT. And instead she's kind of lost in La La Land because she can't win. And it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Stop putting her in these situations, because she is really damn talented. She's freaking good.
Yeah. And you brought up Stephanie McCare, so we'll just fade right into that too. So she's defending both belts because she's fighting Jada Parker for the women's championship, and then she's fighting Fallon Henley for the North American championship.
And Sol Ruca's better than both of them.
100%. But why did we create a women's secondary title if it wasn't going to push more women champions in the business? Like, it doesn't, that defeats the whole purpose. You might as well just have one title. I don't like that either.
Yeah.
And she's not going to lose to Fallon Henley. Fallon Henley, they just took that belt off of her. So I know people are going to say, well, Julia got injured, so that's why. Okay, so be it. But you could have anybody face Julia, or you could have Stephanie McCare lose the North American Championship and then beat Julia for the, like, you could have went other routes. I don't like the whole double champion thing, and now that she's defending them both, like, at all, like, whatsoever. And so Ruca, and she's going to get lost. Like, I get she's on TV every single week. I get it. But you don't think of her now as like the top echelon. You think of so many other people. And I mean, just this week alone, there was, you know, Jada Parker. There's still Jordan Grace. There's like so many other females like adding up into the, you know, the fray. And like you said, Fallon Henley too jumped right into the North American. We can't get Sol Ruca that. We get her a U.S. championship loss to Chelsea Green on NXT. I don't know.
Yeah. And it's just, it's weird too, because, you know, if I'm a challenger for Stephanie Vaquer's championship, I want the top prize. I don't want the secondary prize, you know? So for Fallon Henley to be like, I'll take the North American championship. Like I volunteer as tribute. It's like, but you know, why does Jada Parker get the NXT women's championship match and Fallon Henley gets the North American? Like, it just kind of feels like, okay, well, this match is given to her, so I got to give this to you. You know, I don't know. It just feels weird.
Well, and the other thing with that too is that what if she does lose? Right?
Yeah.
Like, as me, I'm like, I beat this girl just because it wasn't for the, like, did she try less? Because it was like for the North American Championship? Like, no, if I win, I want, give me both those damn belts then. You have them both. If I beat you in boxing, when you fight a boxer and you lose and they have like 40 belts, they lose all those belts. Unless, I mean, it just is what it is. I'm pretty sure. I don't think you just fight for one title unless it's like different weight classes or whatever. I get that if it isn't different. But if it's in that weight class, if you have 3 heavyweight championships, you lose all 3 if you lose. It's not just like, it's just a weird booking to have. You know, I beat you, I pin you, but I win the worst title out of the 2. Just that's why you shouldn't have her defend both. And it looks like they are.
Yeah.
It looks like they are. It didn't look like they were announcing any type of tournament or anything going into WrestleMania season. Yeah, but with that said, NXT was good. I know we talked a lot of negatives, but, you know, we're getting an edgier Trick Williams and so on. So I'm looking forward to what's going to happen. And once again, my prediction of, you know, it still being Trick Williams versus Obafemi looks like it's going to be happening. Even though they're trying to add Javon in for some. I'm telling you, it's like the season of triple threats.
I know, we don't need triple threats at the biggest show of the year.
Oh, man. No one can have a one-on-one this WrestleMania season.
I know.
All right. So that was it. That was the WWE Week in Review, and it's now time to get into our segment, which is some highs and lows.
Highs and lows, let's go.
Yeah.
This is highs and lows. It's time for the list. Who's killing it and who should probably go and sit? You're the best getting listed up high as hell. It's for the lows. They can come up here and take a L. Yes, they got their fingers on the button, yeah. Never sweat the mid, just the best and who run it. I'ma let them chill, let them run through the list of names. This is highs and lows. Go ahead and do your thing.
All right. Highs and lows. We're going to give a couple opinions on what we thought were the highs and the lows of this week. Ryan, what's your first high of the week?
So it needs to be said, and I hate to say it, but Corey Graves back on commentary on Monday Night Raw is my biggest high of this week so far. We need Pat. I like Pat McAfee, but Corey Graves needs to be the permanent Monday Night Raw color commentator along with Michael Cole. It was so refreshing to hear actual commentary on Raw from Corey Graves, and he's good as both a lead commentator and a color commentator. And this week he was the color guy, and he just offered a different perspective on things. When Michael Cole was ranting about John Cena and his heel turn, there was Corey Graves to sit there and offer a different perspective. He was, Michael Cole called him an arrogant prick, and Corey Graves was like, well, you gotta understand, he believes everything that's coming out of his mouth. He believes the WWE universe failed him. And, it was an interesting perspective. Instead of Pat McAfee yeeting all the time and getting on the table and kind of making things about him, which he tends to do from a lot of the time, it was it was refreshing to hear Corey Graves back on Monday Night Raw commentary. I like the fact that he was calling out Michael Cole for getting on the table and yeeting, and he was like, "Why are you doing this? Like, can you? This is stupid." Like, and they showed Corey Graves, and he's sitting there instead of both guys on the commentary table looking like idiots yeeting. So I've said this before, and I've said it many, many times. I like Pat McAfee, but I can only take him in small doses, and I did not miss him on Monday Night Raw this week, and I think Corey Graves was a welcomed addition. So that is my high for the week.
Well said. It's so funny because it took me a little bit. I was watching Raw and I was like, man, because you couldn't hear shit because the crowd. And I was like, man, the announcing is so good this week. And then I realized that it's because Pat McAfee was not on it. Yeah. And I got a lot of hate on my Pat McAfee post. I posted it. It blew up about how I cannot stand him. And people are like, you're an idiot. Rah! Grumble, grumble, grumble. No, he just is bad. Like you said, Corey Graves is a legit announcer. I don't know how people hate on Corey Graves. There's people saying that it wasn't, oh, God, get Corey off my... Why? The guy might be the best in WWE right now. Like everyone's praising Michael Cole. Yeah. I don't even think Michael Cole's. I'm like so over people saying Michael Cole's like the best just because he's been there forever. He's really just average. He's good. I'm not saying he's bad, but I don't think he's even better than the announcers on AEW. He just is just like a random. Like I said, he tries too hard now. Now that he has like freedom, I think that's what people liked. But it's still meh. But you're right, Corey Graves, man, he killed it. It was so nice not to hear stupid. Like I said, I compared him.
Top is Pat McAfee.
Yes, yeah. I compared him to the King, and people got mad at me. And I was like, I'm not comparing to the King, meaning that he is the King. I'm comparing that I think people will say that like, well, you had Jerry the King Lawler, you loved the with him and JR, but King wasn't like that. King did commentary and did the jokes when necessary. Pat McAfee, just like on his awful podcast, just a walking, talking moron. Just whatever spews out of his mouth is what he says, and he says it loud. It's just like I'm
our tribal chief. It's like, why? One big SOB. Like, stop. Like, even Wade Barrett doesn't do it that way. Yeah.
No. I'm just he's the worst by far, and they need to stop paying this man and begging him to be around because he just isn't that great. Let's move on.
Yeah.
No, all right.
Completely agree.
Yeah. Well said. All right, my high, I'm not going to talk about it much because we already talked about it for like 30 minutes. John Cena's promo. Sorry to break it to you after watching it. It's my high. It got people talking. Like I said, it was well-deserved, and he made a poor little kid now famous. So that little kid is going to be talked about for the next 20 years, going to events next to green shirt guy. It'll be good things. So, yeah, but John Cena's promo, my high of the week.
Yeah, it was a good promo. I was just disappointed in some of the things that he didn't talk about. And I know we got a lot of time between now and Mania, but it also feels like Mania's just around the corner at the same time. So I kind of wanted to get them to, really ramp it up a little bit. So for him dogging on the fans for 20 minutes just kind of took me out of it. But it was a good promo, and I got people talking. Yeah,
word. All right, what's your second high?
My other high, I'm going with just the NXT product in general, man. We didn't do an episode last week, but that NXT is on fire right now. And that TNA partnership with Roadblock last week, that match between Obafemi and Moose was amazing. Stephanie Vaquer and Julia was a fantastic match. And then this week, you got Obafemi getting the rub from The Undertaker last week as well. And then just everything going on in the women's division. And this week with Shawn Spears and the culling and to the potential, the edgier Trick Williams and the potential Trick Williams heel turn. In NXT, minus the fact that we have one champion holding both belts in the women's division. NXT is on fire, and they are clicking on all cylinders. And I think it's a better product than SmackDown right now. SmackDown drags on. It's 3 hours is way too long. NXT is on fire right now. It is must-see TV week in and week out.
I agree. Even on the matches that I'm like I don't really care about this feud. At least they're trying, and it usually keeps me entertained at least to watch it. So yeah, they're doing great. I agree. Good pick.
And even the crowd in NXT is good. They're not trying to take over the show, but like this week there was a crowd doing they said the Pledge of Allegiance to Chelsea Green, and you could hear them in the audience. It was just fun. That was funny. That was creative and funny, and they didn't try to take over the show like the international crowds do.
No, that's what I mean, man. It's like AEW fans. They're perfect. They don't try to take over the show. They chant on things, but they chant when it's necessary, when to do like these. Anyway. All right. My second high of the week, I'm giving it to my boys, the Street Profits. I mean, them winning the titles was awesome. I think it's well-deserved. When they won it, the few times they won it before, I think it was the Raw titles. They had the red ones, I believe, and so on. They were baby faces. I feel like we need a good heel team. They are full invested in their heelness. I'm loving it. Big win for them. And I do think they're going to kind of rejuvenate this tag team division in the WWE. So I'm excited for the Street Profits. I don't even know who the other tag team champions are.
I hope they
still the Viking Raiders.
The War Raiders. They still have them. And we don't ever see them. Yeah.
So they are still, that's crazy. Okay. I was wondering, I'm like, I forgot that they were even the champs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I think WWE forgot they were the champs too. So, because we never seen
them. They forgot. All right. Lows time. It's time for the sadness. What is your first low of the week?
I'm going to go the New Day because where the hell are they? This group turned heel back in 2024 against, Big E. They had you talk about John Cena's heel turn. They had an iconic heel turn moment too when they got so much heat going forward, and they were feuding with Rey Mysterio in the LWO for a while. And now, like, if there's ever a time to put the New Day in front of an international crowd where the crowd takes over to get them some heat, this was the time to do it. And they're nowhere to be found. And I don't understand. It feels like that whole heel turn was a complete utter waste. We're in WrestleMania season, and the New Day doesn't look like they're having a match. They're not involved in a storyline right now. It just kind of they just feel obsolete at the moment. And it's sad to see because they were on fire at one point, getting all the massive heel heat. And, I was excited to see what they were going to do next. And Xavier Woods was going to break into the singles division and see what he could do. And Kofi Kingston was going singles, and they were going to come back as a tag team, and maybe they could win the tag team titles and rejuvenate that division. You talk about the Raw tag team division needs a rejuvenation. It's perfect time to put the New Day in the tag team title picture, but you can't do it if you're not on TV. So I don't know what they're doing with the New Day right now.
I said it. If you're not, you cannot start a feud of getting heat off of doing something to Big E and then never doing anything with Big E again. That's the reason why we hate you. And now you're not. That would be like John Cena coming out and being like, yo, Roman Reigns, I can't wait to beat you. You were pissing me off, and pretending like he didn't do what he did to he became a heel because he turned on the fans by destroying Cody Rhodes and selling the soul from The Rock. Like, if we never see The Rock again, that's going to be a problem too, right? Like, you still have to have them together. Like Big E, it just, like I said, they got to put hands on them. If not, they're going to be the L of the week for quite a while. So yeah, they gotta put their hands on Big E in some way, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Agreed.
Mine, another faction, Judgment Day. That's my first low of the week. I don't know what we're doing with them, and I'm just over it. I mean, Finn Balor's not even trying anymore. He's like, oh, thank you for giving me an IC title match. Oh, I think Penta should be in the group. You're a snake. I hate you. You're a snake. He's not even he's just straight mean. Why are they allowing it to happen? How? And not only that, but I feel like Finn Balor was doing this when Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley were in the Judgment Day. He's been beefing. He was beefing with Priest, and then they did nothing with that, and then they concluded it and kicked him out. And then instantly started beefing with Dominic. What are we doing here? Kick him out and do something, because it's not doing Finn Balor any favors, and it's not doing anybody else any favors. They just all every week it's a backstage segment with them saying the same exact thing. It's every week it's the same, just input new funny joke here by Carlito. Yeah.
And what was the point of Finn, turning on Damian Priest at SummerSlam? if 4 months later, he's just going to have problems with the current Judgment Day.
Yeah.
All of that is just,
Uh-huh.
like he's bickering with them constantly. And that's all he's done ever since they kicked Rhea and Damien out of the group, is bicker with the current Judgment Day. And it's like, well, what was the point of breaking that whole thing up? It makes no sense. So yeah, I don't understand what they're doing with the Judgment Day.
Fully agree. All right, what's your last low of the week?
My last low, I am going with Jacob Fatu's current WrestleMania or current presentation. I'll say that because Jacob Fatu's a star. Jacob Fatu should be in the U.S. title picture. He could be in the Intercontinental title picture. Him and Solo could be in the tag team title picture. He could be going for the world title. He could be going. He is a star. He could be having a high profile match with, I don't know, Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa. He could be going up against Roman Reigns. He could be going up against anybody. You name it. He could be going up against them. But instead, they're just putting him in this endless feud with Braun Strowman over and over and over again. And it was cool the first 5 times. It was cool at the Saturday Night Main Event when he put him through the table 855 times. It was cool when Braun Strowman got his revenge and put Jacob Fatu through the table, and then Jacob Fatu stood up, as in like nothing can take this guy down. But now it's just wash, rinse, repeat. Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman. Jacob Fatu, Braun Strowman. I just feel like I'm not low on Jacob Fatu. I'm just low on this thing with Braun Strowman. Like, we need to end it already and give him something big at WrestleMania, because this man is a star. He has star written all over him, and I feel like he's just being wasted at the moment.
Well said. And hasn't he already beaten Braun a couple times in matches?
Bunch of times. Yeah.
How many chances does Braun get?
I don't know.
It
makes no sense. Yeah.
And Braun's actually doing his best work right now, in my opinion.
So it's not a knock on Braun at all.
A different feud too. Let him do something new. He already lost. Let him build somebody else and anything. But I agree with you. Yeah, it's very, very confusing. And I'm the same way. My low, I'm going to say the NXT women's division. And I don't mean it in a bad way, because I do think it's the best division. I think this week, I didn't like what they did with Sol Ruca, having her lose to Chelsea Green. Is not even on the why is Chelsea Green even on NXT anymore? I get it, but she's a U.S. Women's Champion. She needs to be defending that title against other competitors, or have Sol Ruca go and challenge her on whatever
WrestleMania.
SmackDown. Yeah. I don't even know what brand she's on anymore. She's on NXT every week, but you know what I mean, or whatever. But Sol Ruca losing title. Stephanie Vaquer keeping both the championships. I don't like. You're going to tell me you have the most stacked women's division in all pro wrestling. I think it's more stacked than AEW. It's more stacked than WWE. And you're going to share 2 titles between one person? You have the most stacked. You have these women who can shine. Fallon Henley at everybody, and no knock on Fallon Henley. She's beautiful. She's good in the ring. She's gotten better. But really, that's who we're choosing right now too with this. It's just mind-boggling what we're doing with the women's division. It is phenomenal. It needs to be phenomenal. And I think this week it wasn't treated phenomenal. So it's my low.
Yeah. 2 titles on one person, so let's go get the mid-card champion from another brand to put her title on the line on the developmental. Makes no sense. I don't get it.
None of it. Ass backwards. All right. That was our highs and lows, and now we're going to end it with our LVD and MVDs. If you don't know what that is, our least valuable, most valuable dude or dudettes of the week. Ryan, who is your LVD of this week? It doesn't mean we hate them. It just means they were booked the worst. Who do you got?
It's got to be Austin Theory. I'm sorry. Austin Theory losing, I think it was 11 seconds was from start to finish of that match. And now there's reports that there was a report that came this morning. It's because that match was originally scheduled to go for 10 or 11 minutes, but John Cena's promo took too long or ran over its time. But I thought we were on Netflix. We don't have time constraints. Number one. Number two, you couldn't take out Seth Rollins' promo, which served absolutely no purpose, and put Austin Theory in that spot instead. But this man was the United States champion just 2 years ago at WrestleMania 39. He beat John Cena. We're talking about heel John Cena. He beat John Cena at WrestleMania 39 clean, no cheating or anything. He beat him clean. And last year, him and Grayson Waller won the tag team championships at WrestleMania. To this year, he's probably not even going to be included in WrestleMania, and he's losing to Jey Uso in 11 seconds. It's just an L week for Austin Theory, and I'm break them up already. I'm tired of them bickering back and forth constantly too. Break them up and let Austin Theory shine, because I think the man can be really freaking good.
Tony, Triple H, he books everyone to bicker nonstop. Like it's like that's what him
Constantly.
and Stephanie McMahon do at home. You don't need no one likes to bicker, and we don't want to see
real
it
life.
on TV nonstop. Yeah, that's why, right? Austin Theory's career will need to be studied because I think this is the end of the road. If you told me tomorrow that Austin Theory got cut, I wouldn't be surprised. It has a recipe of it.
Yeah.
Wins Money in the Bank, high point. Loses it embarrassingly trying to go for a secondary title. Beats John Cena at WrestleMania. Does absolutely nothing afterwards, becomes an embarrassment, sideshow. Wins the tag team titles at WrestleMania. Has probably the worst tag team championship run in recent memory and history with Grayson Waller. Has done, I don't understand what we're doing. He has done nothing but shine. He is the new Baron Corbin, where he is phenomenal in the ring, safe, makes other people look better, cuts phenomenal promos, has a great look, and will achieve nothing because somebody in the back hates him. And Baron Corbin came out and said that. There was one guy that hated me, and it didn't matter. I couldn't change it. The guy hated me, the end. He had a lot to say. I feel like that's going on with Austin Theory, and it's really, really sad. Yeah. And people can say, oh, everyone now likes Austin Theory. I started my TikTok off of praising Austin Theory, saying he was better than John Cena, and that's what I used to do all the time, and that's what started getting me views and attention was my love for Austin Theory. So get my face out. That ain't me. Austin Theory deserves better. It's really, really shameful. But yeah. I agree.
And I think that person that loved John Cena or that loved Austin Theory was Vince McMahon, and that's why Roman said your daddy ain't here to protect you anymore. And ever since then, nosedive.
Yeah, which is weird because Triple H pushed him in NXT, so I don't get it. Anyway, all right, let's end it. High note as always. Most valuable dude or dude of the week. Who do you got?
It's as much as I did not like his promo, I got to go with John Cena. I mean, it was the moment of the week. It's going to be, people are going to be talking about this promo for years to come. We're going to be talking about this next year, 2 years from now, 10 years from now, because we finally got to hear a heel John Cena. Now, people like to say, this is the first time ever he's been a heel. No, they forgot about the Doctor of Thugonomics. He was a big time heel when he was cutting the freestyles every week. But this current character of John Cena being a heel, yes, it is the first time. And we'll be talking about it for a while. Whether I liked it or not, it doesn't matter. You can't take the moment away from the guy. John Cena is the MVD of the week.
I agree. We had the same, both. Yep, I agree. Yeah, John Cena all the way. Yeah, he just, like I said, I've already talked about him enough. I'm not going to keep doing it. But yes, John Cena, both of our most valuable dude of the week. All right, y'all. We're going to do AEW, so tune into that, and we'll talk about our time together out here in the best state in the world, California. As always, subscribe, like, comment, do whatever. Thank you so much. I'm excited to talk about WWE next week because we are getting into the thick of it. SmackDown, Raw, and NXT should be banging again on the road to WrestleMania. Best time to be a pro wrestling fan. As always, if you like just hearing me, tune into my _wrestling_ opinion on all your social media outlets. And with me, as always, is
Ryan. Enjoys wrestling on all the social media platforms as well. Go follow me. I like to piss people off on TikTok by saying I didn't like John Cena's promo. So go. Surprisingly, though, there were a lot of people that agreed with me, but there were also more people disagreed with me, though. But go follow me. Ryan Enjoys Wrestling. Go follow us on TikTok at 2 Dudes with Attitudes. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're starting to make some strides with the views and the likes and everything. So we appreciate all the love and support. And go follow us on Instagram and all the other platforms as well. And if you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, we appreciate all the love and support. Drop us a 5-star rating and review, and tell everyone about your favorite 2 dudes on the internet.
Yes, 2 Dudes Wolfpack. We out.
2 dudes with attitudes. Let's go. It's the 2 dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking. So let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. A 5-star broadcast shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E. The 2 dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on time to